we are live right now, and I don't know how to play our music because I am not
It's okay.
on. Y'all got to bear with us because we working from different devices, so we don't have our theme music today. But welcome to the Up Zone,
Keep your
where
day
we make
job.
understanding. Yeah, there you go. Where we make understanding politics simpler. Mr. Floyd, you are the host of Upzone, former House Representative for the 43rd District, and I am Tisha S. Waddell, former City Council Representative for the 3rd District, and also a candidate for mayor in the city of Fayetteville. And Mr. Floyd, I'm out here at this Board of Elections this morning, and so you know what it is, Mr. Floyd.
Yes, ma'am.
What you want to tell the people before we get started?
I tell you, it's this is well. You have a lot of people that always I'm seeing that always complaining about this and about that. So what I just want to say before we go an announcement, if your candidate is not talking about transparency, integrity, strong relationship, infrastructure, housing, bringing donut holes into the community, code enforcement, community safety, taxes, or just providing you sound bites when you had looked out the window for 2 years. Then as a person on the street say, Madam Wardell, it's just not
Uh
math.
oh,
And now you got
you
a
froze
time to
up on
address
me.
it. Okay. You know, if they do all of this and and you look at all this and you see no changes in your community, this is the time for you to voice your opinion about changes. So
Absolutely.
how you vote is that's your prerogative. But now is the time, Madam Waddell. Now, Madam Waddell, I know you all as candidates, you got to be exhausted from all the forms that y'all had. You
But
had
Mr. Floyd,
10.
it's not that the forums are not exhausting. The questions are exhausting because many of the questions that are being asked are not even relevant to the work of the city council. So
Well,
it's not necessarily that the forums are exhausting. It's exhausting trying to reframe a question that's not germane to the office that you're seeking, making sure that the answer is relevant to your capacity as the
well,
mayor in the city
well,
of
it
Fayetteville,
goes.
and
Well,
you
it
only get a little bit of time to do it.
well that goes back to the organization who was having the forum, is to look at the role and the responsibility of the mayor, the city council, and the staff.
Absolutely,
So why,
absolutely.
as an example, Madam Waddell, why are you going to talk to me as the mayor or a member of the city council about education?
Well, and Mr.
Okay,
Floyd, it's interesting that you say that
okay.
because one of the questions that I asked is why doesn't the community require for the other elected bodies to have the same level of eyes on them when they're running for office? Because I have never seen a county commissioner's race with 40 forums. I've never
I
seen a
mean,
school board race with 15 forums. And so, the city council and granted, the city council has become one of the most visible elected bodies in the community because for some reason many members of the community think that we are responsible at the city council level for everything and everybody, like we're in charge of everybody. And I understand how you could think that when you have even a mayor now who is saying I decided to run again for the sake of continuity across all of these different boards, because most certainly that leads a person to believe that in this position you have some authority over these other agencies. If you've got a mayor who's saying I'm here because we've got so much change and we need a
well,
steady hand at the helm.
let me explain this so people can understand. Local
Yes,
governments like Spring Lake, Hope Mill, Eastover Sanitary District, Stedman, say that we can provide greater services than the county itself. In actuality, the county is supposed to provide all of the services. It's just
mm-hmm,
local government pops up and say that we can provide greater service for our base. So really, the city services is only limited to its corporate area. Now, when we speak
Right.
about that, and I just mentioned when the city looked at annexation back then, some years ago, they created more than about maybe 10 to 17 donut holes. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
so so when you look at it, sometimes people say, "Well, I'm in the county," but but the city is all around them. You know,
Right.
so when you look at it, the best way to explain it that these government, Hope Mill, Spring Lake, say that I can provide a greater service than the county can. That's like help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Help. Help is the county. That's, so why are you going to ask me a question about health and human services?
Health and
So
Human
we need to look
Services.
at, yeah, we
Right.
need to look at the
Right.
question that we ask these candidates, and just don't have a form because you want to feel like my organization is a great organization, so we can get the candidates there. I mean, but when you have a form and you have 10 people, come
Right.
on. But you have to go now. Don't get me wrong now. You have to go.
Right.
You can't,
Right.
you have to be present to
Yeah, I think
serve.
if you're I think if you're dismissive of this process, um, it just sort of is a little bit flippant for me because I think that you have to be present to
Yeah.
serve.
You froze up, Tease. Can't hear you. Tease is at the Board of Election, and she's in a car and she is being mobile as we do this podcast today. So I'm gonna call her and see if we can't get this matter uh, corrected here. Hello? Oh, okay then. Yeah.
Okay. So my
Okay.
apologies, people. My phone overheated. Things happen when you're not in your normal setting. So I'm gonna hold my phone like this to keep it out of the window. But so yeah, Mr.
Mm.
Floyd, basically it's a little dismissive to the constituency when you don't show up because the even if it's 5 people there, those 5 people came to
Yeah.
hear you. They came
Yeah.
to hear you. So
I mean, you have to attend. You have to participate.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I
So
think, and I think we get like one of the things because I've attended the forums of the people who not just are in this race, but I've attended the forums of the people who are in the city council district races because I wanted to get to know who our choices are, what our options look like. Also, Mr. Floyd, I wanted to be
mm,
I want to be informed too. I want to know who's potentially going to be on this board. So it's disappointing for me when I go and there are people in the city council races for the districts who have not shown up. So it's across the board. We want to see you show up.
well, that's the thing that voters want to do. I mean, because they really vote, when but as a council, the off-season election just doesn't have the same voter turnout as a national
No,
election. So,
I'm up here now, Mr. Floyd, and we've been at the for about an hour and 40 minutes, and there maybe less than 20 people who have come through to vote. Now, granted, it's the first day of early voting, but I would love to see early voting look like Black Friday, like where
well,
people are lined up and they're eager to get inside so that they can go and have their voices heard. But that's not the case, and I think the jury's still out where this election is concerned for a lot of people because there's so many candidates, Mr. Floyd, that they have to go through the process of vetting all of them. And so I think that people are just still
what teach
go
that
ahead.
the the vet is one. You have a council, you have a district, and you have the mayor. And so, for a district, you only have one plus the mayor. So it's not that you have a long, lengthy ballot with a whole lot of things on it, you know, but it also best that a person look at his or her candidate, whoever they want to vote for,
Right.
you know,
Absolutely.
prior to. But nevertheless,
Absolutely.
I encourage all people to go out and cast a vote, participate, in the process there. So you know, you just don't go back and say that I have something, you know, but I can't get it. Well, what I mean by that, if you're not voting, then why complain? Why complain if you're not voting? So that's the concern that I have. But let's look at the announcement, Chief. This month right here is Hispanic History Heritage Month, and it's also Sickle Cell Awareness Month, and it's the 67th anniversary celebration with the March on Washington. And don't forget Fairfield State homecoming game next month. And this phone is ringing. I don't know why my creditors are calling me during this time. We're on the podcast, but I'll get them back. Hello. Okay, then. All right, then we'll do that. Okay. Okay. All right. Then. Thank you all for coming today and participating in Upzone. We have a communication problem, and that is that we are not operating from a base, and we are operating from a mobile standpoint of view. So if you allow us to do a recording later on, and we will place that on our website so that you can get that information about the time that we will pre-record our show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.